Good evening. How are we doing? You know, I've been here 3.5 years. I'm Dr. Ghosh. Most of you know the students, some of our graduate students may not know. I am Sibdas Ghosh, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. I've been here 3.5 years, and this is the best day every year in my life, you know, to celebrate your work. And I was getting goosebumps as I was speaking. I just told our President Humphrey that some of our students could be recruited by our marketing department for 30-second commercial. And I really out some 3 students sitting over there. Their poster is on the wall. Please go look at them. They're College of Health and Wellness student. What you should be proud of, and anyone can hire them. They will sell everything in 2 seconds. So that's there. And we have a Dr. Gordley's College, College of Arts and Sciences. I saw some of the psychology project and some biology project. And Dr. Roberts from MAP program, Masters in Psychology, MA. She told me she will have 8 paper. Dr. Gordley listening, I said, Dr. Gordley has the wallet. So to publish that 8 paper, and also social work will give me some papers, and education, I'm missing the education people, so they just came and gone. So we'll have a journal published by October. So please do reach out to your mentor. And Dr. Flavin mentioned, so she gave a deadline end of May for her students. They're going to all submit. We'll edit, and Dr. Mitchum, Dr. Flavin, we'll all work together. So you'll get your article done, right, Dr. Froman? Okay, now it's time. I don't want to take your time. You all want to hear from our president. Again, this is the most precious day for us to celebrate your work mentored by our faculty. Your means our students' work. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Humphrey, Catherine Humphrey, the 11th president of Carlow University. Dr. Humphrey.
Good evening. Oh, we can do better than that. It's the end of the day. Good evening. Yes, what a tremendous honor it is to be with you all today for my very first Carlow Scholars Day. This is a wonderful event, and it has given me new insight into the innovative spirit of our students and the assistance that they receive from our faculty in this great work. Marcel Proust, a French novelist, once said, "We don't receive wisdom. We must discover it for ourselves." And like him, I believe that the road to wisdom is a voyage to discovery. Our time at the university is special, not because we spend it passively, receiving knowledge, transmitting from one generation to another, professor to student. Instead, the heart of the university experience is the collaboration of students with faculty and peers, the creation of knowledge, the discovery of things that haven't been thought of or said before, all in an atmosphere of free and open inquiry. And the spirit of discovery is vital, not only for those of us in academia, but it is what brings us when we leave this university and commit ourselves to the prosperity of our community and the future of the world. Consider the suffering that was avoided and the millions of lives that were saved because researchers committed to finding a vaccine for the COVID-19 virus and did so with unimaginable speed in 2020. That is what discovery makes possible. Or consider Kiara Nirgitjen, the South African scientist who at age 16, concerned for the worsening droughts condition in her country, discovered a new material that can absorb hundreds of times its weight in water from the ground, providing a new solution to water shortage. This is what discovery can do. One of the many things that makes Carlow special is its commitment to experiential learning and application. Today's participants show us that our students learn by doing, and their presentations embody the scholarship, research, and creative activity that are at the core of our mission. We have a legacy of students applying their knowledge long before graduation in ways that would not be available at other institutions. The spirit of discovery makes Carlow a place where we constantly find new ways to change the world. Our environmental studies program is leading the way in the improvement of water quality in Pittsburgh. Our Mad Women in the Attic project inspires poets and writers to express themselves while demonstrating the power of writing to affect change. Our School of Education is expanding its program in early childhood education while discovering new ways to work with dyslexic students, increasing their success in the classroom. Our art gallery asks us to consider graphic arts in ways that challenge us to seek a more unjust, merciful world. Our data analytics program uses data, visuals, and narratives to communicate knowledge and tell stories in new and exciting ways. And today, presenters ask us to think about the song structure of warblers. Is that right, Yusuf? That's Yusuf work. To understand better the relationship between intimate relationships and academic performance, and to listen to the voices of women in and around the steel industry. These are just a few of the ways that our students are applying their knowledge and making an impact on our world in advance of earning their degree. To all of you who have contributed to this event today, I thank you for your hard work. I thank each and every faculty member who sits in this room today who invested in the life of a student so that they can believe that they too can change the world. To all of you in attendance, I encourage you and hope you will learn as much as you can from what our students have learned and be inspired by them. Thank you, and I hope that you have enjoyed the day and that you will enjoy this program. Thanks.
Please join me to acknowledge the hard work. This thing cannot happen one day. I want to acknowledge Dr. Jessica Hoover from College of Health and Wellness. She organized all the undergraduate presentation, all of them. And Dr. Enrique from College of Arts and Sciences organizes all, of course, all the faculty involved, all the entry for the graduate program. Want to say a few words?
Well, we also had two other helpers that were absolutely wonderful. Angelica Bondi and where's Casey? She might be outside still helping. Casey? She was catching anybody else coming in a little bit late to make sure that everybody knew where to be. And do you want to talk now? Okay. Enrique knew, Dr. Enrique knew. He did all of the graduate work. He is also the mastermind behind the virtual. So this is our first hybrid event since last year we did all virtual just to keep everybody nice and safe. But we also kind of planned that. We weren't sure if we were going to have a Scholars Day, but Dr. Ghosh loves Scholars Day so much that he wanted to make sure that everybody got recognized. So we put that together and it was a lot of participation, but this was so nice. I mean, to see this back hallway full of students showing off all their hard work, it was amazing, super heartwarming. And also, Dr. Enrique does not give himself enough credit for being as technological inclined as he really is, but he can put together an Excel sheet like no other. So he did a wonderful job. And our next guest that we would like you guys to hear from is Dr. Justin Pearl. You are still here, right? Yes, perfect. He is the director of the Atkins Center for Ethics and has some awards for us.
Well, I would just like to say thank you very much, not only to the team that organized this, put a lot of work, but also to all of you. You know, that's Last year, when we were called to organize a conference that would be virtual, we had no idea how it would be done because we had never done. This year, we had the great idea of doing it hybrid, meaning that it will have both components, physical and virtual, and discovered that it's like organizing two different conferences. So if at some point, it seemed we didn't communicate how it would be done, was because we had no idea how it would be done yet. So thank you very much for your patience and for your participation. Now, Dr.
So good evening. My name is Justin Pearl, and I'm the director of the Atkins Center for Ethics here at Carlow. The Atkins Center for Ethics was founded in 2017 through a generous endowment by Michelle and Dr. Pat Atkins. The Atkins Center is committed to bringing ethical reflection to bear on important social issues through teaching, community engagement, and scholarship. Furthermore, it's designed to raise awareness about the importance, complexity, and consequences of incorporating ethics in all that we do through our lives and careers. Since 2017, the Atkins Center has hosted a high school essay contest for juniors and seniors. Past topics have included the ethical lessons of dystopian fiction. What can we learn from the Hunger Games? Shame and futurity, conformity, and the ethics of vaccination. This year's essay contest was entitled, "What Can We Post? Free Speech in a Digital World." The prompt for the contest went as follows. If there is a public square for speech in our world, it will not be found on the corner of Main Street. It will be found online. Social media platforms, video hosting sites, collaborative encyclopedias, these have become the principal sites for the open and public exchange of information, opinions, and ideologies. And yet these sites are far from truly and entirely free. As private companies, social media giants like Twitter and Instagram, TikTok and YouTube decide for themselves what speech is or is not permissible on their platforms. And so these online platforms have become a sort of strange hybrid, legally private companies functioning as our de facto public square. How then should we think about free speech in these digital spaces? What kind of speech, if any, should be limited? Are there certain circumstances where speech can be harmful or dangerous? How do we think about advertising, libel and slander, pornography, images of in videos of death and violence, biased news reporting, false scientific claims during a pandemic, bigotry and hate speech? Who decides what is dangerous and using what criteria? Do these private platforms have a responsibility to monitor or take down harmful content? Conversely, as the de facto public square, do they have an ethical responsibility to uphold free speech? More complicated still, these platforms have a global reach. What is understood as acceptable satire in one part of the world might be unacceptable slander or an instigation of violence in another. In light of these manifold complexities, in this essay, students should address the following question: what ethical principles should guide our legal and moral decisions about who limits free speech, how they limit it, and what speech is limited? And so this was the prompt that was given to students. And in response to this prompt, we received a record 151 entries this year. I bring this up to emphasize the quality of the 3 winning essays, which genuinely stood out from this large pack. These essays reflected a critical thinking on what remains one of the most complicated issues of our time, and one that is not likely to be solved anytime soon. These essays avoided easy answers, taking the unique challenges of online communication seriously, and drew on key ethical principles in order to make their case. And so, having talked too much already, which if you know me, you know I want to do, I would like to now recognize the top 3 winners of this year's Atkins Center High School Essay Contest. So in first place, we would like to recognize Matthew Purcell of the Avonworth High School class of 2023 for his essay, "What Ethical Principles Should Guide Our Legal and Moral Decisions About Who Limits Free Speech, How They Limit It, and what speech is limited. Unfortunately for us here today, Matthew, apart from being a keen ethical thinker, is also a talented swimmer and had a pre-existing engagement in Denver, Colorado as a representative of his local board of USA Swimming. Nevertheless, I hope that you can please join me in publicly recognizing Matthew in his absence. In second place, we would like to recognize Leah Cornbow of the Brookville Area Junior Senior High School class of 2022 for her essay, The Right to Post and Exceptions. In her essay, Leah drew upon the ethical principles of utilitarianism in order to balance the sometimes conflicting values of justice and autonomy. Please join me in congratulating Leah for her exceptional contribution. In third place, we would like to recognize Rohini Pillai of the Avonworth High School class of 2023 for her essay, Ethics That Should Guide the Future of the Internet. In her essay, Rohini took a global perspective, highlighting the ways in which social media has contributed to international conflicts, such as the persecution of the Rohingya in Myanmar, and proposed a concrete legal framework for protecting human rights on digital platforms. Please join me in congratulating Rohini for her ethically rich presentation.
You're the photographer.
Okay. Oh, one last thing. Sorry. I'm not giving up the mic that easy. So you might have noticed that both Matthew and Rohini were from Avonworth High School. So I thought that I should add a special note here that Avonworth really hit it out of the park this year. Despite students entering this competition from more than 50 schools, Avonworth had not one, not two, not three, but 4 students in the top 10. I hope that they continue this work of deep ethical engagement in the future, and we look forward to reading their essays next year. And so finally, I would like to say to our winners that we truly appreciate the time and care that each of you put into your essays and encourage you to keep thinking and writing about important topics in ethics throughout your studies and career. Your essays represent exactly the kind of critical thinking that we value here at Carlow University. And I want to let everyone else here know that while we don't have time for them to present their whole papers today, I do have copies of all 3 winners in little packets up front, and I encourage you to take one as you leave this evening. So in addition to our long-running high school essay contest, this year the Atkins Center introduced the Atkins Prize in Ethics, an essay contest for undergraduate and graduate students at Carlow University. The winner of this inaugural prize is Luke Cochin, a second-year graduate student in our professional health counseling program, for his essay, Smokers' Rights, What Are They and Why Should We Care? Currently, Luke is being inducted into the Chi Sigma Iota and is not able to join us this evening. It's a very busy night. Nevertheless, I would like to say in his absence that his paper represented an intriguing and challenging investigation of a topic seldom held up to critical ethical scrutiny. And so in his absence, I hope that you will join me in congratulating Luke for this achievement. And so with that, I will pass off the mic before they kick me off stage.
Oh, you're good. I just wanted to get this off the screen.
Okay, this year we had really a massive contribution from the Master of Arts in Psychology, 13 submissions. So we asked the program direction to really evaluate and give an award to the best poster presentation. And for that purpose, Dr. Joe Roberts will announce who was the winner of this competition. Thank you.
Hello all. The one mistake we made having come back together is the age-old knowledge of never feed graduate students before you have them go to presentations. Because I think what happened is they all ate and departed. So the winner, I'm going to talk about the winner, but also just for a moment, I wanted to thank a few people that have really helped to make the MAP program, the research. I feel the research masters within the Department of Psychology, Counseling and Criminology. So Dr. Swope has been working the entire semester to get these students up to a certain level of preparation so that they could come today to begin their presentation and their research. And they will continue that process through the summer where they will complete their capstone research and hopefully have some publishable works that might come out of that by the end of the summer or fall, depending on when they take the class. So as Dr. Moo brought up, we had 13 who participated this spring, and it was unanimous. There were 3 of us that were judging, and the winner is Jessica Garofalo, and she won for her presentation and research on social orientations on the death penalty. And so she'll be looking at how certain moral disengagement theories affect people's decision to support or defy the death penalty. So just round of applause for Jessica. And I'll make sure she gets that. I think that's it. Thank you.
Well, we got done a little bit early. So just to explain how the next set of presentations will go, we have the room set up in AJP 115, right down here, AJP 116 and 117. The first room, 115, has a mix of Masters of Social Work, Masters of Business Administration, and the Doctor of Nursing Practice is going to have 4 different presentations in there. And then in 116, we have the Master of Science in Nursing and Doctor of Nursing Practice presentations. And in 117, there will be Doctor of Nursing Practice presentations. So feel free to ask questions, right? That's what you want them to challenge our students and pick their brain. Does anybody have any questions? And that starts at 7. So, and please, if everybody, got their drinks and cookies. Yes. Second round. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming. Everybody did a great job. It was so nice to see everything. Thanks.